Today is Thursday, Parashat Vayeshev. This coming Sunday evening is the first night of Hanukkah, and so we'll say a few halachot that have to do with Hanukkah. We have a mitzvah to light Hanukkah candles as soon as it gets dark, and when you light them, you should light them with either wax candles or oil, and the best way to light them would be with olive oil, because the miracle happened with olive oil in the menorah in Bet HaMikdash, and that would be then the best way to light them. But when you put oil for lighting the Hanukkah candles, or if you're using wax candles, you should make sure that there is enough oil and the candles are large enough to last for at least half an hour. Because if there is not enough there to last for half an hour, then the mitzvah of lighting the Hanukkah candles was not fulfilled. And even if you, let's say, realize you don't have enough oil, you cannot add the oil while the candle is lit. You should put it out and light it again, but this time without beracha. The first night we have 3 berachot that we say, the third one being She'echiyanu v'kiyemanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. But the rest of the night there are only 2 berachot. Now when you start the first night of Hanukkah, the first candle that is lit is the one that is most to the right of the Chanukiah. On the second night, we're going to add another candle, and that will be the first one that we light, and we move to the right to the one that we lit the night before. And every night we add another candle. Now, on Friday night, we cannot light the candles after it gets dark because it's already Shabbat. So we light the candles before we light the Shabbat candles. So let's say if Shabbat comes in at 4:30, you would light the menorah, the Hanukkah candles, let's say about 4:15 or earlier, and then giving you enough time to then light the Shabbat candles. But in that situation of lighting the candles on the night of Shabbat, just before Shabbat begins, you have to put enough oil in there so that the candles will stay lit for half an hour after it gets dark. So let's say it gets dark at 5:30 or 5:25, then it should be lit, stay lit all the way until maybe about 6 o'clock, so you should put enough oil there to last for about an hour and a half. And if you're using candles, there should be long enough candles that would stay lit for that long. We have a custom to light also the Hanukkah candles in the synagogue, and that is done between Mincha and Arvit. But again, obviously for Leil Shabbat, we would do them. If you pray Mincha just before Arvit of Leil Shabbat, then you do it before you pray Mincha. Some synagogues would set Mincha on Friday afternoon early on, so that they prayed already Mincha, and then they come, light the candles, and then start Arvit afterwards. But of course, doing it early enough before the time of Adlakat Nerot Shabbat. Motzai Shabbat, after Shabbat is finished, at home, we first do Havdalah, and then we light the candles of Hanukkah. But at the synagogue, we light the candles of Hanukkah and then do Havdalah, because the whole idea of Pirsumei Nisa, of publicizing the miracle, is important in Hanukkah. And if you were in the synagogue to light the Hanukkah candles after Havdalah, then people would leave to go home already. So we want to have them around so they can witness the lighting and the publicizing of the miracle of Hanukkah. The idea is the household has to have a Hanukkah candles being lit. So by us, the Sephardim, 1 Chanukiah is enough. The Ashkenazim do 1 for each member of the household. But let's say if you're not able to get home early enough, and your wife can light on your behalf, or if you have a child who's already after Bar Mitzvah, he can light on your behalf. And that, in other words, it's on behalf of the whole household, so it's done on time. So the best time again is as soon as it gets dark. But if you didn't light when it gets dark, and you have people that are going to be there later, and you want to light the candles later, that's possible, but it's preferably done early on. If it was not done early on after the night starts, then you can do it anytime throughout the whole night. The holiday of Hanukkah, we add also the Hallel to the prayers, and we add Ala Nisim in the Amidah and also in Birkat Mazon. We are accustomed to eat things that are fried in oil because to remind us of the miracle of the oil that lasted for 8 days, even though it was enough only for 1 day. The menorah lights, the candles that we light, and that light that we see is actually symbolic of the light of the Torah, the light of the mitzvot. Like it says, "Der mitzvah veTorah or." Every candle represents like a mitzvah, and the Torah is light. And even more specifically, is an idea that the Or HaGanuz, the special light that Hashem created at the beginning of creation, was a kind of spiritual light that you could see from one end of the world to the other. That spiritual light, that special Or HaGanuz, is hidden in the Torah, and specifically also the menorah represents the Torah Shebe'al Peh, the oral Torah. So when we light the menorah, we're celebrating the light of Torah, and we connect also with that special light of Or HaGanuz that is hidden in the Torah. And it's a holiday that we celebrate actually the light of the Torah. And it's a time to reconnect and to dedicate time to learning Torah and to realize the importance of Torah in our lives and the importance of mitzvot. And also Hanukkah is connected to the word chinuch, which means education. And it's a holiday also that we highlight the education of our children in Torah and mitzvot. We should have a joyous holiday of Hanukkah, Hanukkah Sameach, and Shabbat Shalom. Again, first night of Hanukkah is this coming Sunday evening. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.